When you come to the end of your race season, you're quite likely in very good shape, perhaps even the shape of your life. So the idea of taking a break and coming off the gas might seem quite strange, but actually it's super important to allow yourself time to recover both physically and mentally.
Yeah, well, with that off-season break fast approaching, we've got some ideas for you to help you relax and rewind after that last race, and some tips on how to get ready before your pre-season training starts. And on top of that, we've got some tips from the pros, what they recommend you should be doing with your off-season break.
But when it does come to the end of the season, it's a good idea to put away all that race stuff, put that TT bike away, put your swimsuits away, and just go and enjoy it. We're not saying stop it all, because at the end of the day, we are triathletes, we love swimming, we love cycling, we love running, we love being active, but just take the structure away from it, go and enjoy it.
Yeah, why not try maybe a little bit of mountain biking, or even go trail walking, for example. Or you could even go for a swim, but leave those hat and goggles behind and go for a little paddle. You might even want to keep your hair dry, or you might want to dive right in and go for a surf.
And on that note, Heather, I think we should get in.
I think we need to. As a triathlete, you're training for 3 sports, and it does take up a huge amount of time every week. So in your off season, why not add up all those hours and think about what you could do with them, all those things that you've wanted to do whilst you're training that you didn't have time for, whether it's the luxury of reading a book, reading the newspaper, or even just sitting and watching the world go by. And the same goes with coffee. You might well have used it as a caffeine hit before your next training ride or before a competition. Well, now you can just sit back and actually enjoy the coffee for the taste of it. So Joe, I was just wondering if you've got any tips for our viewers, or anything that you do that you could share with us in your off season, just to help you recover from, you know, what is a long, tough racing season.
So for me personally, I'll either go on holiday or something for a week, 10 days, and then when I get back, or if I didn't go on holiday, I'd probably try and have about 3 weeks, where I don't necessarily do nothing, but if I feel like doing something, because for me I quite like going out with my friends, because it's a bit of a social, but I don't really put any pressure on doing training, if I wake up on a day and I don't feel like doing anything, then I won't do anything. And I'll try and do that for about 3 weeks, and then I'll get back into training and just gradually build on it for the next year after that.
Yes, the season is long, and you might well have used up most of your allocated holiday already, but if you do have any days left, then booking a vacation is a great way to switch off. And one of the best things about travelling, aside from triathlon, you can book somewhere where you don't need to think about having to fit in your training or finding somewhere to swim, and you don't need to travel with a bike or loads of kit. You can just go onto the plane with hand luggage. If, however, you've got time left but you're actually fed up of travelling and you don't want to go anywhere, then why not take a staycation and just spend it with friends and family who you might well have neglected through all your training. Controversial one for some, but if you've got really lean during the race season, then it can be a good idea to allow your body to repair a little bit and put on a bit of weight. And it can be hard to allow yourself to do this, because you might be in the best shape of your life and ready for that beach holiday. But trust me, your body needs a bit of a break, because during training you're constantly stressing your body, so it's having to repair and recover to get stronger, and that's how you do get fitter. But having a break from this is a positive thing. I personally tend to put on a few pounds in the winter, but then I lose weight ready for summer race season, and as a result I seem to have less illnesses and injuries than quite a few of my athlete friends. Well, this one leads on quite nicely from our previous point. If you've had any niggles throughout the season, now is a great time to sort them out. You might have had little injuries that you've managed to just get by with your training and racing around them, and when you stop, quite often they disappear, but that doesn't mean to ignore them. Now is a great time to address those problems, so that when you do start back in the pre-season, you're ready to go. And if you want to take it one step further, then maybe book in for an MOT with your doctor or your physiotherapist, just to give your body a once over to check that it's ready for the rest. And if you do need something a little bit more serious, like some kind of intervention, try and book it in now, so again, you are ready to hit the road running when it comes to it. And yoga is another alternative you can try. It's great for flexibility, something you might be lacking after hours spent on the bike and running, and it's also a really nice way to switch off and unwind at the end of the season. Well, David, just wondering if you've got any tips or insight to our viewers of what or how to recover from a tough race season with that off-season break.
I think the first thing is, you have to sort of mentally switch off. I think, especially if you've finished in a bad race, a lot of people they almost negatively talk to themselves for the next 2, and it's just, it's done now, it's time to relax, switch off. So maybe 2 weeks of, you can still do exercise, just do what you love. You know, we all love this sport, so I'm not going to say don't do any exercise. I'll be very much, I'll get back to Girona and I'll go out and road bike and sort of meet some friends, you know, probably cycle for an hour, stop for coffee for 3 hours, you know, all of that.
I like the sound of that.
It's the best time of the year for it. And yeah, then, yeah, first of all, mentally recover. And then once you've done that, yeah, sit down and analyse your season objectively. Look to see what went well, what went wrong, and then it's time to formulate a plan. You know, there's no point of getting to race season and being like, okay, it's time to train, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
The off season is very much mentally and physically recover and then plan. So much about this endurance sport is down to being well organised.
So it's also a really good idea to have a post-season debrief. So if you have a coach, use them, but if you don't and you're self-trained, then it's still a really good thing to do. So just write a list of things that have gone well over the past season, things that haven't gone so well, things that you've learned, and also what you could do better.
Yeah, it is quite often tempting to switch off as soon as the season's finished, and then you could lose those valuable learnings. So write them down now, and then you can forget about them for a while, and they're there when you come back to your pre-season, so you've not wasted that opportunity. And actually, a friend recently did his very first triathlon, and afterwards he sat down with me and he went through his top 10 things that he learned and that he would do differently next time. I think it's a really good idea.
Now, with it being the end of season, you may well find that some brands and some shops are doing some end of season sales. So they're selling off their kit at reduced prices. So if you are looking at repairing or even maybe replacing your kit, now is a really good time and a good chance to get that kit so you're ready to go when you do start training. Now, if you are thinking of making any bigger changes, maybe perhaps buying some new running shoes, now is also a really good time to get that in preparation for when you do start training, you start to increase that training load, so you really bed that kit in. And then for those really big investments, maybe a bike or a set of wheels, you could find some good deals in the end of season sale.
Well, after all of that, I am definitely ready for my end of season break.
Yeah, and quite frankly, to be honest, I think I've been having my end of season break for about a year now, but very interesting. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more from GTN, just click on the globe and subscribe.
And if you want to start thinking about your pre-season and you want a body maintenance video, we've got one just here.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see our Ask the Pros about their off-season training, then just click down here.